Hello, everyone. Auntie Jill here. And I would just like to say that is a very sad thing that happened to the Ford family, isn't it? And I would encourage you kiddos, too, tonight when you say your prayers at bedtime, to please remember Rihanna and Dylan when you say your prayers. All right. So for our lesson today, we are going to be learning about the Sermon on the Mount. And what that means is that there was a big crowd of people who were following Jesus. And so Jesus took them up on a mountainside so they could sit down and Jesus could teach them lots of things. And the reason why this is interesting is because the people who were previously teaching the Jewish crowd was the Jewish leaders. And they always taught the people about how important it was to make sure you were doing the right thing. The Jewish leaders were concerned about what people were doing. Whereas what Jesus was teaching the people was a little different. Jesus was more concerned with people's hearts and why they did what they did. And so we're going to be looking at just one sentence in this big sermon that Jesus preached and see what we can learn from it, all right? So in Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, it says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." Wow, that is a powerful sentence, just one little sentence. And so we're going to break that down a little bit and see what we can learn from this sentence. Now, the first word in the sentence is blessed. And that isn't a word we use very often, is it? So let's think of it, maybe another word that might be a little more familiar with you is the word favored. So you might think of sometimes a teacher favors a student or a coach might favor a particular player. And what that means is that that coach might treat that other player a little more special or give them a little more attention, right? So let's put it this way. Let's re-say that sentence to say that God shows favor to those that are pure in heart. So what does it mean to be pure? Well, pure just means clean, not dirty, right? And our heart is more than just the muscle that is here that pumps the blood around in our body. Our heart is the place where our emotions live. It's the place where our attitude lives. And even our feelings are in our heart. That's where they live. So how can our heart become dirty or unpure? Well, sometimes we get angry, don't we? And then we hit people or we push them. Or sometimes we might tell a lie and say, "I didn't do that, not me." Or there might be situations where we might disobey. Somebody tells us to do something and we say, "I don't want to. I want to do what I want to do." And maybe we don't listen and we disobey. All of these things cause our heart to be dirty because they are considered sin. And that makes our heart dirty. Well, what are we to do if God shows favor to a pure heart and the people with a pure heart get to see God? What are we to do when our heart gets dirty? Well, the good news is God made a way through Jesus for us to have our sins forgiven. And we learned about this on Easter, right? How we can have our sins washed away because of the ABCs of salvation. And all we need to do is talk to Jesus and tell him that we are sorry for the bad things that we have done. And then our heart will be made pure. And so my challenge for you this week is to think about, is there anything that is making your heart dirty? And if so, talk to God about these things and tell him you are sorry for them and ask him to forgive you. Thank you so much for listening to my lesson, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.